think that looked good. That seems fine. What I've been thinking, Jonas, although I can't really commit to the idea because I don't have the time, is to have like a curated Minecraft server with a city planner, which would be me. Like I haven't had some, like it would be like a train city planner, and so like people can just hop on and build stuff, but the planner would have to. So like the server admin isn't just like stopping griefing and giving people diamonds, but the server admin also has to design the city or the landscape and to have like planning laws, like where you can build, where you can't build, what you can and cannot build, and then there has to be like an infrastructure department to build roads and things. Basically, it's just a really time-consuming exercise. But to build a decent server that doesn't drown in clutter, because when you let people build by themselves, eventually they just clutter the whole place with a whole lot of stuff. If nobody's dealing with city planning. What's going on down here? Like that. But as I said, I don't actually have time to do that. Jonah says, will you also rope in an economist and a politician? I suspect those will deal with themselves. I mean, politicians will... The thing is, Jonas, yeah, I see what you're saying. But, like, some things have benefits and other things don't, right? Like, building roads is a chore that one person does and everybody else benefits. And when you, like, create public goods like roads, it's just a lot of work for the guy who builds it. And so you have to kind of push people to build roads, otherwise they won't do it because it's like a cost that they don't benefit from. Whereas an economist or like a politician, like if you're a politician, you get to tell people what to do. So like people will naturally start telling other people what to do. Because they benefit from telling other people what to do. So you don't need to especially organized to have politicians, is what I'm trying to say, Jonas. Is that they'll just appear by themselves. Just like if you start a Minecraft server, you don't need to have dedicated miners, because there'll be people who just start mining, because that's fun. Whereas building roads is not fun, and so you kind of have to assign people to build roads, otherwise it won't get done. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, this diagonal bridge. Do I do something fancy here or do I not do something fancy here? If I do something fancy here, what on earth do I do? I... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen here. Let me just like... Diagonals are complicated. Let me just like do that. Let me do this since I know I'm gonna do this. Jonas says, yeah, that's true. I had a server before with friends, and the one guy strip mined out everything within like 1,000 blocks of spawn. Wasn't told exactly. Because that's what Minecraft is. Like some people... Yeah, some people play this game just to mine. Like there's a certain instinct, Jonas, that encourages people to go out and grab stuff. It's the same instinct that, you know, why do animals go find food? Like we have an instinct of just going out and grabbing stuff. It's a survival instinct. And so you don't need to tell people to do that, really. And so like you say, Jonas, if you have a server, someone's gonna start mining. It just comes naturally to people. Whereas, as I said, city planning is really not natural. And you really do have to like push people to do city planning. Let me just do the top half as well. I might not do a fancy bridge, now that I think about it. Might be too complicated. Jonas says, even if it's useless ultimately, more diamond than anyone could use. Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. Even when it's useless, like people just want to grab, like, people just want things. I mean, sometimes it's greed, but you know, it does come naturally. Just grab stuff. Yeah, like you don't know, even when you don't know whether you want it or need it, you still grab it. Just because. This pit is in the mountain. I kinda wanna leave it in the mountain. I know the other parts I mined out. The surrounding stuff, but here I think I actually want to keep it in the mountain. Cause there's a gap in the mountain where the track goes through. Which means it's gonna be like that, and then everything above it is just mountain. Cool. I believe I want that as well. But yeah, like servers usually require a planner. In a way, you don't want people to strip mine everything within 1,000 blocks. Or if they do, then you have to build infrastructure out beyond it so that other people have stuff to do. Jonas says, I see like I'm a major contributor. What percentage to completion are we on this project now? Well, I'm glad you're contributing, Jonas. Thanks to your contribution, we are about 50%? Maybe a little. So there's 5 loops, 5 local loops, right? 2 local loops are completely completed. This one is, you know, halfway there, kind of. The tracks have been wired up, but the architecture is not done. And then there's 2 loops that are just starting to be planned out, and nothing has been built really. So about halfway, give or take a few years. Fancy bridge or not fancy bridge? I kind of want a fancy bridge. Except I'm not sure how to do the fancy bridge. Like, consider if we have a bigger leg down here. Oops. Like that. Which goes up to there. Probably have it stick up more than that. Not sure what happens beyond that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's like a truss column sort of thing. When did I start? You can well, if you look back at the playlist on YouTube, I think it's over 2 years ago at this point, Jonas. I forgot the date. I don't really keep track of dates. But yeah, over 2 years ago. So if that's a corner, and then we think about the other corner. And the top part again as well. Which I think that also highlights the problem I was talking about earlier, is if you wanna have good infrastructure in your Minecraft server, consider the amount of time I'm having to put into this train network. So if you wanna build a similar train network for your Minecraft server, like it's gonna be a full-time job at the very least, possibly multiple full-time jobs, because it really does take a lot of work if you want your infrastructure to keep up with all the players. That. So on this corner, let's say we have that. Oops. And that's the other corner. Of this thing. Oh, I see what I'm gonna do. Okay, I get it. I'm just gonna have a few big columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like that. And then there'll have to be another one there. Yeah, I'm looking at you. Sheep, am I right? Alright, so we get that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I guess. Right, right. And then I suppose it makes sense to have another column there and there, kind of. Or I don't know about this part. I don't know about this part. Let's say don't do this. We do that. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it's against the mountain a little bit. Let me replace some of this. Right, and then it's kind of embedded in the mountain a little bit. Like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Alright, there. And then on the other side, this doesn't quite line up, does it? Because it's an even number here. Unless I do that, which... no, it doesn't line up like that. I suppose I can do that? No, let's push it up a little tighter against the mountain like that. Jonas says I like that. Well, let me keep going before we decide. I do like how this is going.